Something strange is happening with gold prices. Gold prices are rising faster than ever, as if the world is going back to the gold standard. Over the last 2 years, gold prices have increased from less than $2,000 to as high as $5,300. They have fallen since then to $4,700. But now there is a very important question. What is going to happen to gold prices next? Is this a bubble and gold prices are going to collapse? Or maybe gold prices will be rising to $6,000, maybe $7,000, maybe $8,000. And if you're the answer to this question, then you know whether you should be buying a lot of gold or not. About 2 years ago, I made a video on this channel saying that I will be buying a lot of gold, and I made my case for it when gold prices were about $2,000. And my analysis were absolutely correct, and gold prices have risen to $5,000. And now in this video, I want to explain why am I buying gold and why do I believe that gold prices will continue rising to $6,000 and $7,000. First of all, we have to understand why gold prices have risen in the first place. First of all, because the US debt is growing faster than ever, and the US government is increasing the debt ceiling. So every single time the US government hits a certain debt ceiling, the Congress should come together and vote whether we are going to increase the debt ceiling. And every single time the Congress is like, let's just increase the debt ceiling. And that sends a very clear message to investors that we are going to devalue the dollar, because more US dollars in the economy means a much lesser value for the US dollar, which is why gold prices will rise. Gold by itself is a very useless asset. It doesn't actually produce anything. So if you have the choice to have all the gold in the world, it just sits there and shines, and it doesn't actually get you anything. But if you hold a lot of US treasuries are paying you interest. So it's much more beneficial and it's much more profitable to hold a lot of US treasuries instead of holding a lot of gold. And that's why, even though that Nixon abandoned the gold standard, the system to create the petrodollar and hold US treasuries for global trade actually worked. But from now onwards, when investors realize that the US government is borrowing more money than ever, it sends them a message that you no longer can trust US dollars, which is why the demand for gold is driven primarily by central banks. Central banks in every single country, whether it's China, Japan, or the European countries, are holding a lot of US treasuries. So when their trust in the US dollar keeps eroding, what do? They take their US treasuries and they convert them into gold, which is why gold prices have been rising so dramatically fast. In fact, if you look at the total market cap of US treasuries versus the market cap of gold over the last few decades, you will realize that the total market cap of the US treasuries have always been much higher than the total market cap of gold. But something fundamentally happens for the first time since 2024, that the total market cap of gold has actually surpassed, and the trend is very clear that the total value of gold will continue rising. What exactly has happened to gold? Did gold suddenly become a lot more valuable? Well, absolutely not. Central banks simply started selling their US treasuries and they started buying a lot of gold, which has increased the value of gold. Essentially, you can say that we're already back to gold standard. We simply haven't announced it. So it's not the yuan that is replacing the dollar as the global reserve currency, but it's gold that's replacing the dollar as the global reserve currency. Now, when we understand what is the main driver behind gold prices, we have to ask ourselves another question. Is there a plan to actually increase the debt ceiling? Well, the answer is yes. The next question is by how much? If we look at the increases in debt ceiling over the last 20 years, we realize that every single year the US government has increased the debt ceiling. But there is something very interesting that the US government has done since 2013. In 2013, the Congress is like, we are really tired of increasing the debt ceiling every single time. How about we do this? We'll simply give you a blank check. We'll close our eyes and you can keep borrowing as much money as you want. And in a few years from now, whatever is going to be the new debt ceiling, we'll basically pass a bill that will reinstate that new debt ceiling. So if the debt has grown from $15 trillion to $20 trillion, we'll basically pass a bill that says that the new debt ceiling is $20 trillion. If it rises to $30 trillion, that will simply be the new debt ceiling. Now, if you're an investor, if you're a central bank in China, if you're a central bank in Japan, or any other nation, ask yourself what that means for the value of all the US treasuries that you're holding when the US government is simply blindly printing as much money as they want. And they're not hiding that. They're doing that publicly and they're telling the rest of the world. And that's what the US government did between 2013 and 2021. And that's why the total US debt basically within this period doubled. Then they have increased the debt ceiling by $2.5 trillion. And then when Donald Trump became the president, he also increased the debt ceiling by $5 trillion to $41.1 trillion. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. What do you think is the total debt right now? It is $39.3 trillion. And the ceiling is $41.1 trillion. And the US government will hit the ceiling by the end of this year. Let me tell you a secret. Ideally, the government should pass another bill in order to increase the debt ceiling. But they realize that it is growing so fast that we don't have the time to do that, which is why the Congress will simply ignore the debt and will let the US government to simply borrow as much money as they want. Why? Because the US government is starting another major war. And this war is probably going to be the largest war in the history of the United States since World War II. And that's the war against Iran. And this war against Iran is a step-by-step war because the US government is very careful. We know that Iran is this large mountainous country and the US government is not ready to sacrifice everything. So first you start with decapitating the leaders, then you start with your blockade, and now once you have actually studied your enemy and you realize how they are going to fight and you know their strategies, then you're going to send your ground invasion. But this ground invasion is going to cost you trillions of dollars, which is why the Congress will basically ignore the debt ceiling, which will expire by the end of this year, and will let the government to print as much money as they want in order to finish the war. And then whatever is going to be the new debt ceiling, let's say it's going to be 45, 50, or $55 trillion, and then they will basically reinstate that. And that will most likely happen during the next president of the United States, whoever is going to be that president. So you have central banks across the globe. When they see and they look at that, they're like, wait a second, our treasuries are about to become worthless. So while we have the opportunity, while our US treasuries, which are trillions of dollars in our central banks, we gotta do something with these treasuries. And what we'll do with them? We will buy gold. Because if the US treasuries will become worthless, our gold are not going to become worthless. And who knows what's going to happen during this war with Iran? Because we realized one simple fact, that the US government can simply freeze your assets, just like what they did with Russia. So when this war with Ukraine started between Russia and Ukraine, the Russian government had like $300 billion of different kind of assets in the US banks and the European banks. And they've actually sanctioned Russia and they have frozen these assets, but these assets are still generating interest. And these interests are not going to the Russian government, but rather these interests are going to the US and the European governments. And now if you're China, if you're any other nation, and in the middle of this war, when the United States is taking over Iran and it's causing a massive energy crisis in your country, if you say something against the United States of America, your US treasuries are going to be frozen just like they did with the Russian government's assets. That's why there is a huge incentive by these governments to actually start selling their US treasuries. But you can't simply have, what are you going to do with these treasuries when you sell them? You need assets to back up your economy. And the only asset that will allow you to do so is going to be gold, because we don't have an alternative to the US dollar. This war is also a perfect excuse for the US government to increase Pentagon's budget to $1.5 trillion. Currently, the budget is about $1 trillion, and increasing it to $1.5 trillion sounds insane. That's a 50% increase in a single year. But if we make the case that there is a major war that must be fought, then we have an excuse to do that. But we can't simply just increase the taxes on American people, because American people are not ready to fight any kind of war. Because we just recently lowered down taxes, and increasing taxes again makes no sense whatsoever. That's why the US government is running a $2 trillion deficit this year and last year. But if we increase the Pentagon's budget by $500 billion this year alone, that means that the total deficit this year most likely is going to be $2.5 trillion, maybe $2.7 trillion. And that is for this year alone, leave alone what will happen next year if this war gets entirely out of control. Again, ask yourself a very simple question. What message does that send to central banks and the major holders of the US treasuries? So here are all the reasons why gold prices will continue rising throughout this year and next year. First of all is the new debt ceiling, and we don't know what that debt ceiling is going to be. It might be like $50 trillion, $60 trillion, God knows how much that will be based on the war. Secondly, because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, you no longer can use the treasuries to buy a lot of oil. So if you're China over the last 40 or 50 years and you open yourself to the rest of the world and you're trying to build these factories, you're buying a lot of oil, and most of that oil is primarily coming from Middle Eastern countries. But Saudi Arabia is telling you that, listen China, listen Xi, if you want oil, I will only accept US dollars. And if you're China, what do? You will be building a stockpile of the US treasuries, not the US dollars. Why? Because if you keep just US dollars, they will lose to inflation. But if you keep US treasuries, you will be receiving interest from the US government. And every single day that you need oil, you will simply be paying the Saudi Arabian government for that oil. But now, the Saudi Arabian oil is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz and it cannot possibly get out. So if you're China, you no longer can use these US treasuries to buy that oil from Saudi Arabia or from the entire Middle East. What are you going to do with these treasuries? The only thing that is happening with these treasuries is that they're losing their value massively because on the other side, the US government is printing trillions of dollars and increasing debt ceiling. So if you're China, maybe now you're considering to sell much more of US treasuries. Now the same thing is going to be applied to India, South Korea, and all these nations that hold a lot of US treasuries. At the same time, one of the largest investors in US treasuries are Gulf countries such as the UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Now, they would sell their oil and they will receive a lot of US dollars. Now, you can take portion of that money, build up your economy, but you're going to invest a portion of that money, right? And you will either invest it in the stock market or the US treasuries. Now, here's a question to you. Now, since you're not selling oil, you're not receiving any US dollars, which means that you're not going to buy US treasuries. Why? Because you simply don't have the money to do so. In fact, you might be even selling some of your investments because you have a naval blockade and a lot of basic necessity goods are not entering into your country. Or maybe you will be selling those treasuries to buy a lot of weapons because you are in the middle of this war. So you see that there is every single reason for all these nations to sell their US treasuries, and there is every single reason to buy more gold because the world is moving to the gold standard. And the final reason is, of course, there is uncertainty about the war. No one knows for a fact how this war is going to end. If this war will end in the favor of the United States, then the world will continue using US dollars. But if you look at this war from every aspect, it seems like this war will simply be dragged for years and years and years. And at the end of the day, it will simply plummet the United States resources and the world will simply move into a multipolar world where the United States dollar is not going to be the only global reserve currency. We don't know how influential the US economy is going to be on the global stage when this war is over. Maybe it will create a recession in China and the United States will emerge much more powerful. Maybe not. And because there is a risk, investors would like to fly to a safe haven. The safe haven before was the US treasuries, but now the true safe haven is gold. But here's another important question. If everybody is selling their US treasuries, then who is buying these treasuries? Well, of course, the Federal Reserve has already started massively buying all of these US treasuries. And that process is called quantitative easing. That means that the Federal Reserve will simply be printing money and buying US Treasuries in order to prevent the bond market from collapsing. So they did that back in 2008, they did that back in 2020, they did that back in 2021. And in December of last year, the chairman of the Fed said that the Federal Reserve will start quantitative easing again. They won't be doing that on a mass level, but they have already started the process, which means that if there is going to be a massive sell-off of US Treasuries, then the Fed is there to buy them. I don't actually like investing in gold. I like investing in real companies because historically, they actually make a lot more money than any other investment. But in this case, investing in gold makes perfect sense because the US government is sending a clear message that they will be devaluing massively the US dollar. But here's the question. What are the other assets that are going to rise dramatically besides gold? If you can identify these assets, then you're going to make a lot of money. And the next couple of years are going to be really great for the stock market. Why? Because a war, even though that it's bad and there are going to be casualties, on the other side, there is going to be massive spending, especially by the government. And massive spending always drives the stock market higher and higher. So if you want to know what are the best assets you should be buying right now, you can schedule 101 investing session with my team that will help you to understand what are the best assets you should be buying at this moment. And the first 100 people who will use the link in the description of this video will get the investing session completely for free. The link is in the description of this video.